Marcus Gray, a New York-based promoter for over 26 years, better known as one of the duos from Platinum Kids, is on Face this week to talk about his most ambitious venture, the Aidonia's 20th anniversary, and to share a little bit about the do's and don'ts of events promotion. Stay tuned.
What's going on, Marcus? What's up with you, boss?
Just here, trying to do the work and trying to make things happen.
So from Platinum Kids to now Platinum Man, a big man now.
Right, We're beard on face and everything, and just...
All right. Tell us about some of your projects now. What are you working on now? What puts money in your pocket?
Well, we have several different streams of income right now. So of course, entertainment, that's what make everything happen, because I feel like even the other businesses that I've got into is through entertainment, meeting people. I would have and just starting up other businesses, like I have an HVAC company. I'm partners on a lounge in Miami. And again, everything else entertainment.
Okay. So you have three streams of income.
Right.
So you rich?
No.
You said no.
Yeah.
No. It's a real question. Like, you throw the biggest events, sold out events. So you make money from these things, or just a show?
No, I mean you make money, but the whole thing is with ambition, because this is how me and my partners, this is how we operate. If I do a show right now and the show brings in X amount of money, I'm looking to do a bigger show. So that money is going back into...
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because...
Yeah, I was reinvest.
Right, because I believe in playing the long game.
Okay.
So it's either you're going to stay upon one level and okay, this make money, so I'm going to continue to do this and continue to do this and stay at that level, or you're going to try to grow and get to where... Because you know what it is? I think the ambition, and I've met up with partners that have the kind of same ambition as me, and we just don't want to stay on one level. Because a saying of mine is always, if you stay on the same level, the only thing you're eventually gonna have to die.
Right.
If you're not growing, then you're
dying. Absolutely, yes.
You understand? So with every single accomplishment, you celebrate that, but you set a next higher goal.
Correct. Okay.
So when you think like that, I don't think that the rich is not gonna come now, but eventually as you go on the way and you're making all these investments and you're doing things, as long as you're doing smart things with the money right now, eventually then one day will come where we can say, okay,
so one day you want to be rich?
One day I want to be comfortable where I don't have to be running up and down and doing what I'm doing now.
Alright, so Marcus, the promotion game for events seems to be changing, or maybe it has always been this way, but I want to ask you, what pulls out a crowd to an event? Is it the promoter or is it the artist? Like what is bringing the crowd?
What's bringing in the crowd is marketing. It's working with a promoter that not only has the resume, that also has a track record where people can believe in. Also, you have to have something to sell, so the artist definitely plays a huge part of that. So which artist you're presenting, and also again your track record, and it takes marketing. It's not because I got a big artist, so let me just print some flyers and throw them out and then everybody's gonna come. It doesn't work like that.
But which one is more important, a big name promoter or a big name artist?
I think I can't say which one is more important. I think they work in conjunction with each other. Like, if you get a good artist and a good promoter, you're gonna have a good event. If you have a bad promoter and a good artist, you're not gonna get a good event. Vice versa.
Okay.
Right. It has to be like a good enough artist, a good enough promoter, and then they work together. And that promoter has to know what he's doing, because you see some good promoters that won't make certain artists work because they're not used to putting that level of work. So let's say now, alright, say you have three scale up artists. You have artists here, you have artists here, you have artists here.
Yes.
See?
Yeah.
So now you might think you're a good promoter because you're always working with this artist. So are you really a good promoter, or you just been leaning on the
Big
big
artists.
artists because
Oh,
you have the revenue, you have the whatever to get that big artist. Right now, can that same promoter, that same exact promoter that made this artist work 10 times, can he make this artist work?
That's a very interesting point, you know. So you're saying that the way in which you promote this artist might not be the same way you promote the next artist?
No, definitely not. It's not cut to fit.
Like, for example, give me an example. Give me an example of two artists that you would approach promotion differently.
I mean, I'm not gonna call any name and categorize anybody, but I think you understand what I'm saying. Like you have some artists that may be hot right now, steaming hot.
Yes.
They might be, you know what I mean? Them come out, them have 5-6 songs back to back. They're only 2 years in the game. Them hot. Everybody I say, yo, I want to see this artist. I want to see this artist. That's an easy artist for market.
Okay.
Then you have an artist now that same thing that artist is doing now that did that 3 years ago. So he may not be as current, but he still have his fan base. Now it's up to you as a promoter to say, okay, this artist not steaming out. Everybody not call my phone and I say, bring X artist, bring X artist. But I know that this artist have a following because I did this show 3 years ago and they all sold out. Those people must still be there somewhere.
Right.
But now I have to put in a little bit more work in my marketing to remind these people. So remember other artists I love 3 years ago.
So which one is a better investment? Is it to get a veteran artist with a big catalog or a new artist with hot and trending?
So
if you're looking to make a profit on your money, you're looking to make money, which would be a safer investment?
Safer investment. That's a tough question. So that's a tough question. You really have to kind of. It's up to you as the promoter at that time to make that decision because, and I'm saying that because there's again like you're asking questions that I know you want a straight answer to, but there's no really straight answer to these questions.
I think you have the answers, Marcus. If you it's not even if. I've seen where you're one of the top promoters in the Jamaican diaspora. So I think you really know a lot. I don't know if you want to tell me,
no,
but I think you know a lot.
I'm willing to share,
Right.
but again, it's still not cut to fit. So I'm not gonna be like, okay, big catalog or an older artist or small catalog but a more current artist.
Yeah.
Which one is safer?
No, yeah,
I don't know which one is safer.
No, Marcus, you know, because I have to know because if you're a promoter.
But you know why I can't know?
You're gonna spend your money now, you know.
Yeah, but I've promoted both kind of artists.
Right.
I'm not gonna shy away from one.
Right. But
So
there must be one
if I thought one of them was a bad investment, then I wouldn't have done that. So they're both, to me, it's good investment because you can say, all right, again, that artist has built up a following, built up a catalog. He may not be as current as this artist, but I can make both of them work.
Right. Okay.
Again, one is gonna take a different type of promotion.
Right.
Like the hot artists, them right. I guess.
Okay.
All right. Let me put it this way: if you're not an experienced promoter and you see this game and you say, all right, you know what? I have a piece of food and get a little lawsuit money, and more and try a thing. And so lucky, say when you have that money, you have an artist who have burn up the place.
Yeah.
And you're able to get your hands on that artist.
Yeah.
That's probably a safer bet for you because you're not as experienced of a promoter to go to know how to market
Yes. Okay.
such art.
That makes sense. So, what type of artist now would you say is not a safe investment at all?
Not a safe investment is artists that's not real to themselves. And I say that because you have artists that know I can't fill Amazura, but yet still them a charge you Amazura money or them a charge you. So when you get into a situation like that, it's up to you to know that this not really worth it enough. Unless it come down on him price or unless she come down on her price, I can't do this. So that is, to me, is an unsafe artist, is an artist that's not realistic in what they're charging or demanding.
Okay, so it has to do with the money that they're going to charge.
Yeah,
I was more so thinking about an artist that probably don't have the kind of catalog that will pull people to come out. I was thinking more along.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're charging, so if an artist can pull 500 people and they might charge you $10,000, you do the math on it, right?
Right. Okay.
You do the math and say, okay, because now it's up to you as a promoter. All right, I know so this artist can draw 500 people. I'm not going to go and take him to Amazura. I'm going to find a venue that holds 500 people. That means that all my expenses are low, my overhead is low, my this is low, my that is low. And then the artist, me know say, all right, the artist are 10 grand, so I know say, me need to charge $40 at the door plus me have the bar so I can make a money. So that is not what safe or not safe. It's just you as the promoter if you know say, okay, this is what I'm putting out, this is what I need to make, so I need to go to X venue, I need to make sure I have this, I need, you know?
Right. I've seen promoters book artists that don't promote the event. Tell us about the behind the scenes of what happened. Why don't they promote the event? Is it a part of the? I don't want to. But why you tell me more about?
Right. I think it's about what you negotiate. If you need to rely on an artist to help you promote, then you need to negotiate that. You need to put that in your contract.
Okay, makes sense.
Right?
Makes sense.
I've always tell any artist I work with, all I need from you is maybe a video drop, just so I could show that and say, so the people can have faith in the event.
Okay.
All right? If you want to do a post when you're here or whatever the case is, but I don't dwell on, oh my God, this artist didn't post.
Okay.
That means my event is gonna fail. Because then what does that say about you as a promoter?
Okay. I like where you're going. So you say you want a drop so that the fans know that this person is gonna be there.
That's it. All I need is your confirmation that I'm gonna be at that event. And I'll do the rest.
And that brings us to UBS Arena Idonia show. First of all, how was it working with Arena? Of course, you were the man behind the show. You plan it, you organize it. There was nobody besides Aidonia that was above you with this planning.
Right.
Perfect. How was it working with UBS? How was it working with them as far as getting them to agree to what you wanted and vice versa? How was it?
Well, working with UBS and I have partners on the show too. Benjamin Ball Events.
Okay.
They were my partners on the show. Working with UBS, it was different. It was different. Like I've never done an event and being at the event and you feel like you're not totally in control. Like you can make certain calls at your event and it happens. Like none of that. Like that's out the door. Like whatever you sign on that contract, whatever you agree to, whatever you give them, there's no change in the day off and say, oh, I know I said 30 people, but I need 40. No, that not happen. Like, you know what I mean? So it was definitely, being my first arena show, it was definitely a learning curve. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. It's just that they're so structured and me doing this for so long and working in different kind of areas and different elements was not used to that kind of structure.
Okay.
So
like for example, what was one thing that you never used to?
all right. So like again, like all right, you have a certain week. Say okay, they say how much comps are you gonna do? We're gonna do 500 comps. Now, you know the day of you have the phone call them and such man a call away. You know, say you can't say no to, but I said, why you calling to them? And then usually, okay, you get them call, you're like, all right, forward, Marvin.
Right.
Can't do that. Cannot do that. This artist, they will say, all right, how many people are you allowing backstage with the artist? We agree to 10. That's it.
I want to stop right there because I want you to make the emphasis again. So you're saying that working with the arena, once you have an agreement with them, like for example, the compass of a certain amount, you can't change it.
Cannot change it.
So if you're flying from London the day off and say, yo, Marcus,
stand up outside.
Do you prefer an arena? Now that you've done arena, you've done parks. Do you prefer arena?
I like the structure that it brings. Okay. I like the structure. I like the control that it brings. Okay. You know what I mean? It's very expensive. Like I think the profit margin is different, but I love the structure, and I feel again.
And by different, you mean you'll make less.
You'll make less than an arena because you don't have no bar, you don't have no this, you don't have no that, you know that. You know what I mean? If you're doing a park show, then you have everything. So yeah, but again, love the structure that it brings, and I feel like for dancehall to get to the next level, that's the kind of structure that needs to be in place. Not only in doing the shows, but if we can take that format, that structured format, and apply it to the rest of the business, win-win for everybody.
In terms of time constraints, the show had to be ended at a particular time.
Right.
What happened if you go over?
If you go over, it's a huge fine, like 70,000. Like if you go 1 minute over.
No, what did you say? How was the show now overall? How did you like the turnout? Turnout.
I love the turnout. I think that, I mean, it was definitely more than I could have hoped for. Being again my first arena show, we're nervous going in and everything. So definitely love the fact that it was an awesome turnout.
And
Awesome
so you expected that turnout, or what was your expectation?
We originally planned for 8,000. We got 12,000. So
Okay. So that's big. We have band show and we have track show. And as a DJ, you've worked with a lot with artists who would perform on a track. Is track your preferred type of shows versus band? What's your preference in working with
I
artists?
prefer track show coming from a promoter's perspective because it's less costly.
Yeah.
And me personally, like, I don't really see the difference. I don't see the difference.
No,
and that's why you have, and I'm pretty sure if you ask 100 people, patrons,
Right.
you got 50 who say, yeah, I like bands, and you got 50 who say, I like track.
Right.
I heard people complaining about the band show. I heard complaints about, the bands, I can't hear, or whatever the case, because they're not used to the band, or whatever the case.
No, because I know you would have a trap crowd, but you don't think the live band adds more value to the performance?
I don't. That's a question I really enjoy. Like I've asked myself, and I can't come up with a definitive answer. I can't say 100% a band show is better than a track show. I think some artists perform better on bands, and some artists perform better on tracks. I think so. I think the newer artists is better they stay with tracks than bands.
You represent Aidonia. You do.
Yes.
Would you do a show with Vybz Kartel?
Yes.
Okay. So the relationship doesn't affect if you wanna.
No.
You would book Vybz Kartel?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it you ever thought about?
That is, of course, there's something. Of course, because you know, what I mean, again, you have to understand that me and Aidonia is friends in real life. Like we're
Right.
friends. Like you know, what I mean, Aidonia is my last kid godfather.
Yeah.
You understand? So even on a business level, you have to respect somebody's business, right? So let's say me and an artist are not friends. Aidonia and that artist do a collab. Am I gonna be upset with him because he did a collab?
Absolutely. That's a good comeback. That's a good one.
I can't be because that's your business that you no matter what your markers are or whatever the case is.
Right.
That's your business and you have to make sure that your business is going just like I have to make sure that my business is going.
Right. Okay.
You understand? So as long like there's being a DJ, there's nobody that could get me to play a song where an artist I do where disrespect my friend.
Right.
Right?
Okay,
but
so
would
you
I
would
pay other tracks from that artist? Yes.
Okay, so that's where you draw the line.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't play a diss track to your personal.
No, I wouldn't do
Okay, that makes sense. That makes 100% sense. Because you're your personal friend.
that. I'm a friend.
Outside of business, you're your friend.
Right.
But in terms of booking a show and promoting a show with an artist, you would do it if they're not there. Okay. Do you think he's the king of dancehall?
I think so. Of the King of Dancehall argument and the King of Dancehall our situation we're going, I feel like it should be broken down into generation because there's no way in the world I could say coming from where me I listed the dancehall, there's no way in the world I could say Yellowman is the king of dancehall because I've never seen Yellowman perform live.
Right.
All right? So our king of dancehall, Beanie Man, but now you have the youth them now. Where is say from a little because all little kids now know Kartel up to 35 up to you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They know Vybz Kartel. Them a hear Vybz Kartel from them a youth. Who put out the most hits to them? Vybz Kartel. Who's the man to them? Vybz Kartel. So that's their king of dancehall. That is their king of dancehall.
But your king is
in my time, the king of dancehall is Beanie Man. In right now, the king of dancehall is Vybz Kartel. You have to give him shine.
okay.